Good evening everyone, my name is Mike James A. Vega, and for today we're going to discuss about the market integration. First, we're going to know the objectives. First, analyze the impact of market integration on completion and consumer welfare. Second, you have evaluate the potential benefits and drawback of market integration for the developing economies. And last, we have identify strategies for minimizing the benefits, mitigating the challenges of market integration for a specific country. And next, so what is market integration? So market integration is the interconnectivity of prices in different locations or related goods. So market integration refers to the process where separate markets become interconnected, allowing goods and services. So it's also reduced transportation cost. So when market integration went high, it often leads more competition, better product quality, and increased efficiency in the market. So market integration, ito yung pagsama-sama ng mga merkado ay nangangahulugan ng pagkonekta ng iba't ibang lugar upang mapabilis ang pagbili at pagbenta ng mga produkto at serbisyo. So nakakatulong din ito sa pagbawas ng mga gastos at mapataas ang kompetisyon. So next we have the primary characteristic of market integration. So first, we have price harmonization. Second, cross-border transaction. And third, we have increased competition. So first, price harmonization. So price harmonization is also known as price alignment or price coordination. Refers to the practice of establishing is consistent or uniform pricing for a specific product or service across different markets or distribution channels. So, price harmonization is when companies set the same price for a product or service in different places. This means that no matter where you buy it, the price will be the same. For example, when a company sells a smartphone for $500 in the United States, so they might also sell it for the same price in Europe and Asia. For example, international brands. When multiple corporation ay binenta nila in multiple countries, yung product nila, they often set similar price para ma-maintain din yung image ng brand ng kanilang product at para ma-avoid na din ang price discrimination. So next, you have the cross-border transaction. So cross-border transaction is basically any transfer of property, goods, or service between individuals or business entities who reside in different jurisdiction. So itong cross-border transaction, ito yung cross-border transaction is simply a deal between people or business in different countries. So this could be buying something online from another country or investing foreign company. So yung cross-border transaction is yung mga ano lang, like yung bibili ka ng product from other country using online market, online app like Amazon. So when you purchase a product from an online retailer located in another country, nag-i-engage ito ng cross-border transaction. Okay, for example, bumili ka ng product, book, for example, book, and then bumili ka sa Amazon.com while residing in the Philippines will be a cross-border transaction. So parang like nagkakaroon ng cross-border transaction kapag bumili ka ng products from other country, like gano'n. And parang nagre-relate siya sa import and export, like gano'n. So next, we have the increased competition. Firms in integrated markets compete with both local companies and business from other integrated areas. So yun yung increased competition. So palagi natin naririnig yung increased competition. So sa market integration, nandyan talaga palagi yung pagtaas ng competition kasi doon na napapaganda yung mga quality ng mga products at enhance yung mga services and products. So, the examples of increased competition is ang mga kumpanya sa isang pinagsamang merkado ay nakikipagkompetensya sa parehong lokal na kumpanya at mga negosyo mula sa iba't ibang mga lugar. So, for example, sa automotive industry, Ford is brand car. Brand car. So, Ford came from American multinational corporation. So, yung Ford is nakikipag-compete siya sa mga local car manufacturers at other global brands in the market, like Southeast Asia. So next example, retail industry. So 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven, kung mapapansin nyo, yung 7-Eleven is makikita nyo kahit saan dito sa Pilipinas, kahit sa mga bayan-bayan or mga barangay. So, nandyan palagi yung 7-Eleven. So, itong 7-Eleven ito ay Japanese convenience store chain. So, itong 7-Eleven ay nakikipag-compete sa local convenience stores at mga international brands. Like, for example, sa international brands, Starbucks. So, yung Starbucks, di ba, isa yung international brand. Tapos, yung mga kape nila doon is mamahaling talaga. Okay, so, yun. Nakikipag-compete yung 7-Eleven sa mga international brands and mga local mga sari-sari store, baka ganun. Ganun. Okay, so, next example, in technology industry. So, in technology industry, we have Samsung. So, yung Samsung is galing siya sa South Korea. So, itong itong Samsung is nakikipag-compete siya from local mga technology firms and global brands like Apple in the smartphone market. So, kung mapapansin yung Apple, di ba, yan yung number one brand ng mga cellphone na binibili. Kasi maganda yung yung quality niya. Pero yung Samsung is nakikipag-compete pa rin siya, nakikipagsabayan siya sa Apple product. So yun, nakikipag-compete siya sa mga iba't ibang mga companies. So next we have food beverages industry. So for example, Jollibee. So yung Jollibee is Filipino fast food chain. So yung Jollibee is nakikipag-compete din siya with international brands like McDonald's and KFC in the Philippines. So kung mapapansin nyo, no, kahit nandyan na yung mga McDonald's saka KFC, mas bihira pa rin pinupuntahan ng mga Pilipino yung Jollibee, no? Kasi nakikipag-compete yung Jollibee sa mga international brands. Hindi lang sa international brands, kundi sa mga local din. So, yun yung increased competition. Nakikipag-compete siya sa mga both local companies and businesses from other integrated areas. So, next, you have the impact of market integration. So, market integration has a profound effect on global trade and the economy. It leads to more consistent price changes, wider range of products and suppliers, and improved market efficiency. So, yung impact ng market integration is may positive and negative. So, the impact of market integration involves connecting different markets and eliminating barriers to trade, and has a significant impact on both economies and consumers. So, let's have the positive impact. Ano nga ba yung mga positive impact? Ito. So, yung positive impact is increased competition and improved living standards. So, yung increased competition, market integration leads to increased competition among business, which can drive down prices and improve product quality. So, sa increased competition, napapababa niya yung mga presyo ng mga bilihin, tsaka napapa-improve niya yung mga product quality. And also, improved living standards market integration can lead to improved living standards for people in the region. So next, let's back to increased competition. So pag sinabing increased competition, ito yung pagtaas ng competition sa maraming mga businesses ang magbebenta ng same product and services. So maaari itong humantong sa mas mababang mga presyo para sa mga mamamili. Kasi kailangan makipagkompetensya ang mga negosyo sa isa't isa upang maakit ang mga customers. So yun yung paraan. At also ma-improve yung product quality. So next we have negative impact of market integration. So job losses. In some cases, market integration can lead to job losses in industries that cannot compete with foreign competition. So for example, country A ay nagbenta ng sapatos sa halagang $10 a pair. Then si country B naman ay nagbenta ng same shoes as country A pero sa halagang $5. So yung both A and B ay nag-trade. So yung mga tao sa country A ay bumibili ng sapatos sa country B. So ibig sabihin lang neto, ang shoe factory ng country A ay masisira dahil hindi mabebenta ang kanilang sapatos sa parehong halaga. So ito ay maaaring humantong sa pagkawala ng trabaho para sa mga taong nagtatrabaho sa mga pabrikang yun. Okay. So yun na yun. Next we have, thank you for listening, and I'll pass this to the next presenter, Jethro Pinzon, for Market Integration Part 2. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Jethro Pinzon and this is the continue of market integration. Thank you. Market integration and how it works. Integration can be achieved by different means, reducing non-tariff and tariff barriers. The trade can be main tool for integration markets. This type of integration is known as negative integration. Form of integration. Preferential agreement. It involves lower trade barriers between those countries which have signed the agreement. Isang halimbawa ng isang preferential agreement ay maaring ang North American Free Trade Agreement o NAFTA na kinibibilangan ng US, Canada at Mexico. Ang NAFTA to enhance economic activity amongst these nations by lowering trade barriers or pagbababa ng mga hadlang sa kalakalan. Yan. The next is Free Trade Agreement. It reduced barriers to trade among members countries to zero, but each member country still has autonomy in deciding on the external rate of tariff its trade non-members countries. Ang free trade agreement naman ay isang kasunduan sa pagitan ng dalawa o higit pang mga bansa upang mabawasan ng mga barriers o hadlang sa pag-import at pag-export sa kanila. Sa ilalim ng isang patakaran sa malayang kalakalan, ang mga kalakal at serbisyo ay maaaring mabili at ibenta sa mga international borders na may kaunti o walang mga tariffs o taxes, quotas, subsides o pagbabawal ng pamahalaan upang pigilan ang kanilang pakikipagpalitan. The next is Custom Union. It represents a higher stage of economic integration than a free trade area as a member countries adopt a common external tariff. Ang custom unions naman ay this a form of PTA or preferential trade agreement kung saan ang mga bansa o membro ay hindi lamang nag-aalis ng mga trade barriers o hadlang sa kalakalan sa kanilang mga sarili, ngunit nagpapatibay din ng isang common external tariffs against non-members. And the next is common market. It goes beyond the customs union in allowing for free movement of labor and capital within the union. Common market naman ay going a step beyond customs. Inaalis ng isang common market o merkado ang mga panloob o eternal trade barriers adapt sa common external tariff or tax at nagbibigay daan din para sa malayong paggalaw ng mapagkukunan tulad ng paggawa at kapital. The next is economic union. It is the highest form of economic integration in addition to conditions of a common market. Member countries also agree to integrate monetary, fiscal, and other policies. Economic union naman daw ay isang kasunduan sa pagitan ng dalawang higit pang bansa upang payagan ng mga kalakal, serbisyo, pera at manggagawa na malayang lumipat sa mga borders. Ang mga bansa ay maaari ring ay pag-coordinate social funds and financial policies at upang suportahan ang common market or merkado na ito. The next is the challenges of market integration in the global economy. Unequal distribution of benefits. Halimbawa ng unequal distribution of benefits ay nangangahulugang hindi pantay o hindi pare-pareho ang pagkakawagi sa mga tao o grupo sa lipunan. Ibig sabihin, may mga taong nakikinabang na mas malaki sa mga oportunidad, serbisyo o kayamanan kumpara sa iba. Halimbawa, sa ibang bansa, excuse me, may mga lugar o mga tao na mayaman at magandang access sa edukasyon, trabaho at serbisyong pangkalusugan. Samantalang may ibang lugar o mga tao na hindi ganun nakikinabangan o nahihirapan sa ganitong mga bagay. Ito ay maaaring maging sanhi ng hindi pantay na oportunidad at pagkakataon sa lipunan at maaaring magdulot ng pagkakabahala at di pagkapantay-pantay sa mga mamamayan. The next is loss of sovereignty. Sa mga ilang kaso, ang pagsasama ng merkado ay maaaring magdulot ng banta sa pambansang soberanya dahil may maaaring kailangan ng mga bansa na i-align ang kanilang mga patakaran o rules, policies sa mga international na pamantayan o regulasyon. The next is regulatory challenges. Ang pagsama-sama ng merkado o market ay maaaring humantong sa mga challenges o hamon sa regulasyon dahil kailangan ng mga bansa na itugma ang kanilang mga batas at regulasyon upang mapadali ang tuloy-tuloy na pagpasa ng mga transaksyon. And the last is increased vulnerability. Ang increased vulnerability ay ang pagdami ng mga potential na maaaring harapin ng problema ng isang bansa o pagsali o pakikilahok sa global market o merkado dahil ito sa pagbubukas ng ekonomiya sa international na kalakalan na nagdudulot ng problema tulad ng pagbagsak ng halaga ng pera o matinding competition. Types of market integration. Number 1 is horizontal integration. Horizontal integration happens when a company buys another company that does similar business on the same level of the supply chain. Halimbawa ko dito is yung Facebook, which is Meta na yung tawag ngayon. Dati individual lang yun, di ba? Ngayon kinuha na nila yung Instagram. Nag-merge na sila. Tapos pareho pa sila ng nature or field, which is social media. Ang advantage nito is higher efficiency, increased market power, reduced competition, access to new markets, at sharing content and ideas on a platform. Meron din itong mga disadvantage. Ito yung mga disadvantage na time management and addiction, frauds and scams, cyberbullying and harassment, and misinformation. Yan. Ayun ang halimbawa ko sa horizontal integration. And the next is vertical integration. When a company buys another company in the same industry but earlier stage of production, it's vertical integration. Halimbawa ko naman dito sa vertical integration is yung 7-Eleven kasi 'di ba yung 7-Eleven parang andoon na lahat eh. Andoon na lahat eh. Pero yung owner, siya lang ang may hawak. May iba't ibang product, yung mga sabihin natin mga Dunkin Donut, di ba? Yung mga pagkain doon, iba-ibang product yun, pero isa lang ang may hawak nun. 7-Eleven lang, meron pa nga doon yung parang mga hardware. Parang doon na lahat eh. May tissue, may mga gamit, may mga pampaganda, may mga pang school supplies. Pero isa lang ang may hawak, si 7-Eleven lang. Ano ang advantage nito? Itong vertical integration na ito ay it allows to invest in asset specialized. It gives more control over business. It allows positive differentiation. It requires lower cost of transaction. It offers more cost control. And itong vertical integration ay meron din itong disadvantages. Yung capacity balancing problem, bring about more difficulties, results in decreased flexibility, and create some barriers to market entry. And the last is conglomeration, a less common type of integration. This happens when a company buys another that offers a different product or service. Ito yung a combination of agencies or activities not directly related to each other. Yung example ko dito sa conglomeration is yung kay Lucio Tan. Maraming hawak si Lucio Tan, which is the LTG or Lucio Tan Group. Pero hindi sila related, may iba-iba to. Ito yung Philippine National Bank, University of the East, PAL, Philippine Airlines, Eaton Properties, Real Estate, Tobacco, marami pa eh. Pero isa lang siya ng management, which is kay Lucio Tan. Siya lang yung ito may hawak. Pero marami siyang hawak na agencies yun kanina. Epekto naman nito is risk reduction through diversification and acquisition of financial leverage, empire building urge. Yung reason for market integration, to remove transaction costs, for foster competition and provide better signals for optimal generation and consumption decision. And also improving security of supply. So kaya nagkakaroon ng market integration kasi para ma-secure yung supply, kasi kung maraming gumagawa ng product, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng problema sa supply. Manatiling stable yung prices. And that's it.